Hello and welcome to STEM with Mr. N, where every week I perform different demonstrations and explain the science behind what we're seeing. This week I'm going to be doing some tricks with surface tension. Let's check it out. For the first demonstration, we're going to see how surface tension can act with air pressure and affect liquid in a bottle. For this, I've got an empty plastic bottle, some food colouring, some push pins and a jug of water here. First step is to fill up the bottle with water. I'm going to add some food colouring to mine to make sure that the demonstration is nice and clear. Once you've done that, screw the lid onto the top of the bottle. Then we move on to the 4 push pins. You're going to take each of these and push them into the bottle about 1 inch up from the bottom. So now that our bottle is all set up, I'm going to remove each push pin. What do you think is going to happen to the water in the bottle? Let's remove the pins and we'll find out. Try and not put any pressure on the bottle when you are pulling out the pins, and try and pull the pin straight out of the bottle. So now my 4 pins are out, and you'll see that water is not coming out of the bottle despite there being 4 holes there. There was a little bit of water that came out when I first pulled the pins out, but that's because I was putting a bit of pressure on the bottle. So let's see what happens when I put more pressure on the bottle and give it a squeeze. You see that water sprays out of the bottle through the holes that we made with the push pins. What do you think will happen if I take the lid off the bottle? Let's take the lid off and we'll find out. And you'll see that with the lid off, the water is spraying out of the holes that we made with the push pins. But as soon as I put the lid back on and screw it on tight, the water stops coming out of the bottle. This is because water is cohesive, which means water molecules all stick together, and this is what gives water surface tension. Now at the holes, the water is all sticking together and it is creating this tension right across the space of the hole, so there's no room for air to get in. Similarly, because the lid is screwed on tight to the top of the bottle, no air can get in the top to push down on the water. So the water isn't going anywhere because no air is getting in and out of the bottle. However, when I squeeze in the bottle, although no more air is coming in, I am increasing the air pressure inside, and the air is getting squashed down on top of the water and it forces the water out of the holes. And when I take the lid off the top of the bottle, a lot more air can rush into the bottle, push down on the water and force it out the sides. Now we're going to test and see what happens if I put a hole above where the water sits in the bottle. And you'll see that just that one small hole is allowing enough air to get into the bottle to press down on the water and start pushing it out of the sides. To learn more about air pressure and surface tension, I've put links in the description to videos that I've done on these 2 topics where I explore them both in a lot more detail. If you're trying this demonstration yourself, you could test to see if it makes a difference what height the holes are, what size the holes are and what shape the holes are. For the other demonstration this week, I'm going to do a surface tension trick using balloons and bamboo skewers. When you have a balloon which is not inflated, there is no tension on the skin of the balloon. But when you blow up a balloon, you will see that the skin now has tension in it because it is being pushed out by the air. We are going to see if we could skewer a balloon using a bamboo skewer and some oil. Now, normally, if you try and skewer a balloon with anything sharp, this is what you would expect to see happen. So instead of just sitting here bursting lots of balloons, I'm going to use what I know about surface tension and see if I can skewer a balloon right the way through. I've blown up a fresh balloon and I'm going to look at it to see if there are any points where the tension is not as strong across the skin. And when you look at a balloon, you'll notice at the end where you tie it and at the opposite end keep their dark colour. This is because they're not under as much tension as the rest of the skin of the balloon. I'm going to dip a skewer in oil and see if I can pierce all the way through this balloon. So you'll notice I've managed to get the skewer inside the balloon without the balloon popping. It's most of the way in and you can actually see the end of the skewer pressing against the end of the balloon. I'm going to see if I can get the skewer to come right through and out the other end. And now you'll see I've managed to pierce the whole way through the balloon with a single skewer. So how does that trick with the balloon actually work? Well, we've already said that there is less surface tension at each end of the balloon, which means the skin is not under as much pressure. The oil helps to separate the molecules that make up the rubber and allow the skewer to pass into it. The rubber then pulls tight around the skewer and that stops the air getting back out, which is why the balloon doesn't even deflate. It's a cool trick that you can do with surface tension, and if you're doing it at home, you could even do a wee challenge to see how many sticks you can get stabbed into your balloon. If you don't have long bamboo skewers like I've got, small cocktail sticks work just as well, you just can't get them right through to the other end of the balloon. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I would like to take this opportunity to answer any science questions you have about any science topics at all. So feel free to email me at stemwithmrn@outlook.com and I'll get back to you with answers to your questions. You can subscribe to the channel by pushing the button here, and I've put some links here to the different STEM demonstrations that I've done so far. This has been STEM with Mr. N, exploring tricks with surface tension.